What's up, guys? Son of a Boomer here. Today we are talking about 5 guns for beginners. Let's get to it. I don't think you made it. With the holidays coming up, there are a lot of sales going on for guns, ammo, all that good stuff. And I wanted to kind of give a video for the people who are looking for that first gun. In order to meet my criteria, I wanted the gun to be budget friendly, so under $500. I wanted the gun to be reliable, and I wanted it to be easy to use for a newcomer. Those are kind of my criteria. So let's talk about the guns. And I say 5 guns, but there's going to be alternatives that I'll mention. These are just the guns that I recommend. All the guns that I recommend I've either owned or shot, except for one, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. For the first gun, my recommendation is going to be the Taurus TX22. There are a lot of really great 22 pistols on the market. This Taurus TX22 is my pick, mainly because the price and the reliability that I've had with it. I know not everyone is a fan of Taurus. They've had some issues in the past. I think that this particular Taurus has been a good buy. Great for beginners, doesn't have a lot going on. You've got 16 shots in the magazine. It's pretty easy to load, especially with these little grips right there. You just pull that down and load them in. I do not struggle to hit targets, 50 yards out, sometimes even further. It also comes with a threaded barrel. If that's something that you're interested in, you don't have to have that on. If Taurus is something that you don't like, or you don't like this particular style of gun, a good alternative might be the Ruger Mark series. Something that I learned to shoot pistols on, and phenomenal. I was able to hit targets with very little training, 100 yards out, with just a little bit of help. Great gun, love it. Something that I would say is maybe not the best beginner gun, but it's desirable to many newcomers because of the price. Something like a Heritage Rough Rider. They actually have some safety features that some people might find desirable, but mainly the mode of operation. You've got to cock the hammer back to half cock, open the loading gate, push the new ones in after you're done shooting 6 shots. Then you've got to cock it back to half cock, open up the loading gate, and then start ramming the spent casings out. They also, in my experience, have a little bit of quality control problems when it comes to screws and such. So to make sure that your gun's just running reliably and stuff, I recommend getting something a little bit different. If that's all you can afford, just be aware to make sure you tighten down your screws, make sure you've got some Loctite on them. Gun number 2, the Canik. There are a lot of different types of Caniks. This one's the TP9 SF. Pretty standard. The reason I really like these guns, they're very inexpensive. They're chambered in 9mm. You get a lot of rounds in that magazine. They're really easy to shoot. Got great triggers. Sights aren't half bad. I've put a little bit of glow-in-the-dark paint on mine. 9mm is a great option for many newcomers because it doesn't recoil a ton. You're getting a pretty effective self-defense round, and it's relatively cheap. These Caniks run anywhere from, the base models, anywhere from about the $350 to $400 mark, and they have some much nicer models higher up there. If this is something that maybe you're not interested in, a second option would be the Palmetto State Dagger. They are going really cheap right now during the holidays. You can typically find them for about $250 to $300. This is essentially a Glock Gen 3 or a Glock 19 Gen 3 clone. This is a nice gun because it allows for some concealability compared to the Canik, which is a little bit bigger. And they do make the Canik, I think it's there's the SC, and then the MC9, I think, is the new one, that are very concealable as well. But this one offers a good price point. It's very reliable. from what I've seen. Gun number 3, the Ruger American. Now you'll notice this is not a Ruger American. I will talk a little bit about this gun, but the Ruger American is a bolt action rifle. They run sub $500. They're chambered in a lot of different calibers, but they are excellent for hunting and reaching out things a little bit further. I would probably recommend something in 308. As I stated, I have not shot this gun. If I were to go and buy a bolt action rifle today, that is the gun that I would go purchase. I've seen very good things from it. I know some people think they're a little ugly looking. I disagree. I think they look fine. They seem to offer a good value for the money. I hope to get my hands on one someday, but right now, as of yet, I do not have one. So take that opinion with a grain of salt. An alternative to the Ruger American is going to be for a scoped hunting rifle is going to be, you know, grandpa's gun or a gun that you find at a pawn shop, a good used gun. You can usually find pretty decent bolt action rifles at your local pawn shop. Maybe someone in your family has one, and if they're looking to pass it on, as long as you do that all legally, everything checks out, that's a great option. This is a J.C. Higgins Model 51, chambered in 30-06. It's got an FN action. So this is a really, really awesome bolt action rifle. It's older, but it works great. Good for hunting, good for target shooting. 30-06 would probably not be my first choice for a brand new shooter. Again, I would probably choose something in maybe 308 if they're wanting to use it for hunting. If you're just looking for target shooting, you can get one in, 5.56 or 2.23. That's going to be really sweet, just easy shooting. Those would be my picks for a bolt action rifle. Easy, guys, with this with a nice scope rifle like this. Hit them right in the noggin at 75 yards offhand. Obviously this gun is capable of a lot more. We just ran out of room. Gun number 4 is also a gun that I do not personally own, but I know a lot of people do, and I have something pretty similar. My recommendation is the Maverick 88 made by Mossberg. This is not a Maverick 88. This is a Mossberg 590 in retrograde. This is a few steps up. However, the nice thing about the Maverick 88 is that they run usually sub $300. Maybe for a little bit more. You can often find them with a home defense style barrel, as well as a hunting barrel that's a little bit longer, comes out, more over here. So you can go bird hunting, you can use it for home defense. It's a shotgun. It's going to do pretty much anything that you ask it to, especially with that nice pump action. Mossbergs, especially the Maverick 88, they sell a crud ton of them because they're really cheap and they are reliable. If you're wanting a step up from that, maybe not something quite as nice as this, you can go with the Mossberg 500 series. Again, they've got those combos, which are really nice. I don't typically see combos for the 590 series, but this is an awesome gun. Or not this one, but the Maverick 88. This one is also an awesome gun. But that's my pick for number 4. Keep an eye out for good sales on those. Gun number 5, the Ruger 1022. Most of you guys knew it was coming. I love the Ruger 1022. This is an excellent beginner's gun, especially if you haven't shot a whole lot before. These guns, they're relatively compact, so if you needed to use them for home defense, you could. Again, 22 is not my top pick for home defense, but if you needed to, you could use it. More importantly, ammo is incredibly cheap. These guys usually run sub 350. You can get the takedown models for a little bit more. And you'll notice I've got 2 here, and we've got one that's this older style. This Ruger 1022 is, I don't know exactly how old it is, but it's at least 25 years old, maybe 30 years old, maybe even older. Obviously, I've added a scope to it. You don't need to. These guns are incredibly accurate, especially within 200 yards or so. So we've got one like this that's set up, you know, more for shooting out far. This one over here has a binary trigger, and we've added this extended charging handle. This is kind of a project of mine right now. I'm slowly acquiring more and more pieces. So we'll be doing a video once it's completed on this. But both of these guns are fantastic. One thing I really like about the Ruger 1022s is their ability to take aftermarket parts. There's a ton of aftermarket parts. These are the most popular 22 rifles out there. Now, again, you don't need to add aftermarket parts. Your gun is going to run great. But if you want to, you know, make it look cooler or make it do something different, like adding the binary effect to it, that's something that you can do. Anyways, guys, those are my recommendations for 5 guns for beginners. Obviously, there are a lot of guns out there. These are not the only 5 guns that you should look into, but these are some of my recommendations. I think all of these have a good track record in my experience. All of them are pretty budget friendly, and all of them are relatively easy to operate. Let me know what you think. Did I leave out a gun that you particularly think that is a good option? What guns did you learn on? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.